Hello there. It's 7:01, 7:02, something like that. I was having technological difficulties. My phone was freezing up, and I don't know why. So, I am here. How are you? It is Wednesday at 7-ish, plus one or two. My name is Johnny Daniel. I am your Stampin' Up! Independent demonstrator here in the beautiful 29 Palms. Yes, the air is still on because I think today was 108. Eventually it will slow down, I promise, but we're not there yet. So for tonight we are doing a floating masculine card. I do want to remind you though, before I flip you around, that Deal of the Month for August finishes tonight at 7:30. So basically, you need to text, email, or message me while I'm on the live if you want to take part of this. If you want more information, stampingwithjohnny.com, go to rewards and read about it. Okay? But seriously, 7:30, it's been running all month. There will be another one in September, I promise. September 1st through 25th. Unless that's like a Sunday or a holiday, and then it'll be the next day. But you follow. Alright, so that is what is going on for today. We are going to be creating a floating masculine card, so let's get right to it. And you'll see my messy desk with all my projects and everything else going on, because I haven't been in the studio much this week yet. I had some dental work done yesterday, so that's how that is going. And I've been taking Advil and trying to get away from a throbbing head. So yeah, some days it's like that. So anyways, if you're joining me, please comment. I'll be happy to email you the instructions for the floating masculine card, which is what we're creating tonight. So hold on a sec, I'm gonna flip you around. So as you can see, I have project. Okay, so enough of that. Enough of my mess. How are you tonight? So I have to ask you, what was for dinner tonight? Do you know? Have you already eaten? No? Yes? Anything? I'm setting up the computer if you're curious. And I'm kicking my shoes off. Yes, really. So let's see here. Let me mute this so I don't get a double. And we will get to creating tonight. Tonight is a fun card. I saw it from another demonstrator, but it was done very differently. So the technique is somewhat copied, but the rest of it, not so much. So, hey Pam, how are you, hon? So if you're on with me, please comment, say hello, so you can get the instructions. But for tonight, alright, we are making this gorgeous card with a couple of adaptations. We'll just say that. Okay? So, I see my numbers going up. If you're on with me, please comment so you get the instructions, okay? So, instead of glue dots, we're going to, and Stampin' Seal Plus, we're going to also add adhesive sheets to this list. And we're going to raise it up with dimensionals, but we'll get there. So, shall we get started? I hope so. Alright, so let's see what we got. I don't have the leaves. Hold on. I knew I had forgotten something. Salisbury steak with mashed potatoes. Must have been a steak night. I had teriyaki steak with wasabi vinegar rice and roasted edamame with lime, ginger, a little bit of garlic, and a little bit of lime juice. And some seaweed. Yes, really. So, alrighty. So now that I've got all the dies together, we can move. Sorry guys, my head has been in the dentist chair. I had 2 crowns drilled yesterday. So yes, I am the queen. Just want to tell you. No, I'm just kidding. So for today, we're going to be doing this floating masculine card. So I have a thick, hey Lise, how are you? I have a thick basic white card base cut at 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5 1/2. Okay. We do not have a mat tonight. Instead, we just have this floating circle thing. Okay. So I do have a piece of window sheet. Now, really doesn't matter how long, but it needs to be wider than your circle. So depending on the size window sheet you find, might be the size circle you have, or you might cut the window sheet as big of a circle as you want. It just depends on which way and what you can find, okay? Then we've got some In Good Taste paper. Doesn't really matter what size it's cut as long as it's a little bigger than the circle, right? And then I've got some adhesive sheets. So this is what we're going to be working with, okay? Are we ready to go? I hope so. All right. So first things first, I am going to get my stamping out of the way. So let's see. May your birthday be memorable is what we did before. Rest and relax, you deserve it. Thank you, hello. So our friendship is timeless, sorry. So rest and relax, you deserve it, or birthday. Say in the comments which you prefer, birthday or rest. I guess is what we're gonna call that. And depending on what you want is going to be what I do. But it's the same size block, so while I'm waiting on you, I am going to get my block, get my basic gray ink, and a sip of water, because that's what we do. So, alrighty guys, so birthday or relax? Rest. Yeah, no kidding, huh? Alright, so let's do that one. Rest and relax, you deserve it. So you're not putting your fingers all over your stamp. Put it down on your pad and push in. That's a good way to not have Hey Cheryl, how are you, honey? Well, we already did a birthday, so we're gonna do rest and relax, evidently. Alrighty. So I'm grabbing my card base. And I'm just going down at the bottom and I'm saying, rest and relax, you deserve it. So this is a good retirement card, a good congratulations, a good first week back for teachers card. I mean, oh my gosh, there's so many things you could do with this card, right? Okay. I know this is the first week back for many, many teachers and students, and every single teacher I've talked to has been like, I'm exhausted. So, it's good, but I'm exhausted because they're out of practice with being in person. And all the masks and all the other nonsense. So anyways, alright, so now we're going to grab our die cutting machine. The queen. Or the boss. What was it? The boss or the queen? Lise, what did we name it? Do you remember, honey? And I'm going to grab my window sheet. I don't know if you can really see it, but it's on there, I promise. You want to get up as close as you possibly can because you don't want to waste, right? I mean, I can do like 3 more of these, right? Well, probably 2 more. 3 total. So I'm going to wind this thing around. And magic. Magic, magic. It's okay if you clunk. Okay. And I'm like, where's my circle? So that is my infamous circle on my window sheet. Now, don't forget to cut your one on your paper, okay? So you're gonna cut the same size and then you're gonna trim. So, come on. It's harder for me when I'm sitting. I'm used to doing this standing up. But we will get there, like everything else. Alrighty. So, there's our infamous with the gray. Yes? Okay. So, now what we're going to do, since I have the die cutting machine out, I am going to do my leaves really quick. And hopefully I won't have to go poke through all the little holes, but we'll see what happens, huh? So what I'm going to do is I'm grabbing my adhesive sheet here, and I'm grabbing my scissors. So with this one, with the sample, I just did Stampin' Seal and Stampin' Seal Plus, and honestly, it was a bit of a mess. And then I had to do, hey Kath, I'm glad you're here, hun. You're okay to be late. That's what replay's for, hun. So anyways, so when I did this, I did Stampin' Seal Plus, and then I had to do cornstarch, and then I had to brush that off, and I'm like, instead, let's just start with the adhesive, right? But here's the problem with this. You want the adhesive towards the middle, but you don't want it on the tips, so if it goes past, it goes kind of flat. So especially since this one's flat on the page, so it's not as big of a deal, but if I raise it up, I don't want this to be pulling it down. So I figured if I did the adhesive towards the middle only, so I'm going to do like a little square and try to line this up, okay? Does that make sense? I really hope so. So I am just grabbing here and I'm cutting to the line, and I'm just grabbing a little square of this guy, okay? So then I'm gonna peel the corner off, in theory. This is the hard part, guys, especially if you have cut where there's not a line, so you can kind of peel back. But hey, I'm up for challenge. Let's go, huh? There we go. Now make sure to throw away the waxy piece, not the sticky one. And we're gonna cut out the gray, so you actually want this on the brick side. So whatever side you don't want up is the side you obviously want on the back side. All right, dabbing glue for leaves. This is really spindly, and I did the liquid glue, I did glue dots, I did Stampin' Seal Plus, and I was like, no, it has to be the adhesive sheet. It just has to. Nothing else seemed to work. So there you go. Let's hope and pray we get it towards the middle. I think we're good. But this is the last die cut thing. Okay. So I love these adhesive sheets. They are awesome when it comes to, let me get this out of the way, excuse me, boarding house reach, as my mother would say. I love that this is super easy to take care of now. So I'm grabbing here and I'm like, there might be a little bit here there. I'll clean that up later. And then I'm just pulling this out. Okay. Okay, so we hit pretty square in the middle. We missed by a little bit, but not too bad. So now what I'm gonna do is I gotta poke all these things out. So I'm gonna ask you while I'm poking this out, what'd y'all have for dinner? Cheryl said she had Salisbury steak, which I haven't had since I was like in grade school, I'll be honest with you. And then, let's see, I've had chicken fried steak since then, but not Salisbury steak. So, and then yesterday I had pasta because I needed super soft because my jaw was so sore from being drilled on. So, it's just what it is some days, right? It's okay. This too will pass. I was gifted my mother's soft and deep teeth that are crooked. So I had braces and I've had crowns and fillings my entire life. So, so to get back to Stampin' Up, huh? Frittata. Yum. Japanese curry. Okay. Catfish and green beans. I'll pass on that one because I'm not a seafood person, really. So, was it fried catfish, Pam? It was the first time you made it. Well, congrats. You did it, girl. So, so let's see. Yeah, this is not going faster than I thought, but hey, it's okay. So celebration is next week, will be half over. Can you believe it? So I don't know if you've gotten what you want already or not, but I haven't heard of anything running behind or out, you know, low inventory kind of thing. Has anybody else? Pam, Kath, have you looked anything up? Have you heard anything that I don't know about? So, the fall product class, I closed the afternoon session because nobody was coming, and there is still room in the morning session. I've got 3 coming so far, so I've got room for a couple more, but the cutoff deadline is tonight because there is a lot of cutting and a lot of prep for it, so that is what I will be doing tomorrow and part of Friday, on top of prepping for the fair, the Bazaart, on Friday. That one had adhesive on it. That one stuck to me. Okay. And I'm about at that point where I'm like, oh my gosh, I get tired of pulling these things apart. I'll just be honest with you. We can use the die brush, which I always forget about, and I should have done that. We'll have to show you that one next time, huh? So, there you go. Let's get this last one, and then I'm going to cut off the top because I don't want it hanging over too much. Oh, for heaven's sakes, come out. So, has everybody voted yet? Don't forget to vote no matter how you vote. Just don't forget to. My grandma would say if you don't vote, you don't get to complain. So, air fryer. I don't have an air fryer. I have a turkey fryer and a dippable fryer, but I don't have an air fryer. I figure if I don't do much fried, so I figure the little bit I do want fried, I'm going to have fried. And I'm just going to run instead. That's my rationale. Now, whether that stays that way forever, I don't know. But that's what I got. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Alright, so, my gosh, I got stuff everywhere. Alright. Done now. Okay, so now I'm going to cut off this top one simply because I'm just tired of pulling these things out. Okay? If you wanted to do them all, go for it, but I'm done dealing with that. I want to do something else tonight. So, putty end. I don't know, hun. I haven't tried that. I always grab my scissors or the piercing tool. Those are my 2. So, couldn't tell ya. That's a good idea, though. Huh. All right, so my throat is still a little raspy from keeping my jaw open for an hour and a half yesterday. So, to cut this circle, because you do need to cut so you have the gaps, okay? This is the front and back of the same paper. So what we're going to do here is we're going to grab here, and I'm going to go about in the middle, about, okay? And then we're going to stick it simply about 1/4 inch. And why do I say that I'm going to measure? Because I don't want them all the same, which means I need to make sure that they're kind of measured so I know that they're going to be different. I'm cutting a tiny, tiny bit off, like 1/8 of an inch. That's my gap. So that's going to get thrown away. And then this other one, I'm just doing that. Now, when you do this, pull them off and keep them in order. Why? So then you don't have to keep track of what size is what and all that kind of nonsense, okay? So this one's going to be my gap, or my piece that's missing. Okay? But you want to make sure that you kind of keep track of where your pieces are going. And you're like, but John, you can see it. Yeah, you can. But honestly, then you can flip them and everything else and not have to think about what's going where. It's just easier to keep track of in the beginning. Okay? Hey, Serene, how are you, honey? I hope you're surviving this week, my dear. Been thinking about you guys. You and both Annalise and all the others that are teaching this week. All right. So can you see my window sheet? I hope so. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm grabbing my window sheet with my mini glue dots, and I'm grabbing here and I'm going, oh, do I want that to be rock? Yep. So whatever I want to show, I'm going to be gluing obviously the opposite side, right? So this is going to get 3 on it. If your house is warm and your glue dots are ooey gooey stringy, throw them in the fridge for about a minute. You'll be fine. Okay? So I'm just putting this where it fits. So you're going to go down the circle and you're going to say, huh, that fits there. Okay? Then I'm grabbing my, this one's going to be gray. So I'm going to grab here, and see, that one's a little ooey gooey, so I probably should have stuck these in the fridge, but it's okay. They're just going to be what they're going to be. But this one went over the edge, so I got to string it back. Okay? So this is going to go here, and I'm literally just going right up to the edge. Of course, you got to line it up a little bit, but hey, you know, it is what it is, right? Okay, and then this guy, I'm going to put down at the bottom. So this one's going to go here. So this is kind of like a puzzle. I hope you guys like puzzles. I do. I still have the first one that Joel and I did on our first vacation when we couldn't afford to go anywhere. We still have the first one that we did all complete and everything hanging in our living room. So I know, ooh, ah, all that kind of stuff, right? Okay, but yes, I can be sentimental. So this one is here. Okay, and if you don't like them back to back in there, then don't do them back to back. It's just that simple. No problem, right? You want to make sure, even on the skinny parts, that you have 2 glue dots. Why? So it doesn't pivot on you. If you only have 1, it tends to pivot a little bit on you. So this is gonna go up top here. Okay, so that is my circle. That one didn't fit because we used a big gap there, but it's okay. Okay, so there's my infamous circle. And now we have our adhesive, which I need to find. I'm like, where did it go? Okay, so we're gonna peel the back of this guy off. And peel the back of this guy off. Okay. Let's see, do we have any more? I'm like, we already did that one. That one's sticky. So we're gonna peel that one off. So the only problem with doing partials is you don't know if there's some on there or not. So you might wanna pick paper that's easier to see it, but hey, you know, I'm up for the challenge. How about you? All right, so now what I'm gonna do is go, oh, that's sticky. Okay. So I'm hoping to catch all the sticky parts on that circle. And if not, it's okay. Okay, so there's my piece. And you're like, hey, it doesn't look like much. I know, not yet, right? So here's what it's gonna look like done. But I've got to grab my mini dimensionals now. Where are my minis? Minis. Okay. Don't have many left on there. Let's see if we can pull some out of the drawer. Here's a whole sheet. All right. It's amazing how fast you go through things when you're creating all the time. All right, so now I'm gonna grab my mini dimensionals and I'm just going to put scattered throughout. So there's my throughout, right? Okay. So this one I'm going to stagger and we're gonna put like 1 down here and I think that'll be good. Okay. And the reason I am doing them up this time instead of flat is because I didn't like how it looked. There wasn't a lot of depth to it, so you couldn't really see that it was floating. So I just thought, you know what, let me see if that helps. So I don't know if you can see it there, but I like it so much better. So much. Except this piece is like coming and going. I don't know. Okay. So that is the card. You guys like? Floating masculine card. So pick any kind of die, throw some adhesive on it, and do some spatial crazy, like pick a shape and then just cut pieces out of it so you have gaps. Okay, that's the whole thing. So I don't know which one you like better, but this is what I have. Thanks so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed. Follow me, stampinwithjohnny.com, and have a great evening. Thanks again. Bye-bye.